Let us continue with our lesson, and today let's go and learn about the Kotlin classes. A class is a template or a blueprint from which objects are created. So the object here means like any object, like let's say a TV, each one of an object. If you say a car, each an object, and let's say a dog, each an object. So in the real world, we can map object to any of the object that we can see, like a TV, like a car, dog. All of these are objects. So the classes that we are going to create in Kotlin can be mapped with a real world object. So if we say that what is a class, so class we can just say it's a template or a blueprint from which an object are created. And in Kotlin, the classes are final and public by default. And don't worry about the final and public, all of this we haven't covered. All of this we'll be covering on our later subject, but let's go and see in a practical way, and let us jump into our project and let us create a class and let us have a look on it. I'm here in my Android Studio, so let us go and create our first class. So let's go to the new, and I will go to the Kotlin file and class over here. And from the kind, I will just select a class, and let's give a class name as a car. So car, and just click on OK. So that will create a new class for us. If you see, it's a class and the name of the class is a car. So let's create some of the properties for our car class, and that would be let's say a val of a color, and let's say that this is of a string data type, and which is equals to, let's give as a blank for now. And let's give another property of a car. Car will have a, let's say, engine number, and that should be of, let's say, a integer data type, and let's give an initial value of a 0. And we can also have a car of properties of a car, let's say a cc, and that's of, let's give as a string, and let's say equals to a blank. We give an empty string for now. And let's say we have a 3 property for our car, and I'll just say as a property, and just copy all of this, and I'm just commenting out for your reference only. And we have a class or an object can have a properties and a behavior. So we have to take note on these two things, which is an object will have certain properties and a behavior. So if you take a note on the car object, car will have like a color and an engine number, you can say a cc, and you can say horsepower, brakes, and accelerator. All of these are the properties of a car. But what is a behavior of the car? So what a car can do? A car can drive. So let's create a function for that one. So I'll say as a function drive, and let's say inside print, and then I'll just say as this is, let's say a time, and let's create another one. Let's say a function of, let's say a break, and so let's say as a break, let's say a keep break. Sorry, not a break, it should be break. And let's say I've just copy this one and just paste it over here, and I'm okay, let's say break. And the car have a lot of properties. We have a 3 properties over here, and a 2 method, which is of like what the car actually will be doing, the function that the car is going to have. So we have a properties and a behavior. So behavior, we have a drive and a give break, and let's say we have a 2 over here. So we have created one car class which has 3 properties and 2 behavior. One is a drive and a give break. So how do we make use of this one? So let's create a Or let's create a new activity over here, and I'll just create a new activity. Or let's create a new class. Why not we create a class? Or let's create an activity so we can run it. So I'll just create a new base activity or empty activity, and let me call it as a car name. Let's give a car as a Toyota. So the activity name I can say as a, let me remove this one and I can put it TO. So let's say we have a car of a Toyota, and just click on finished. And let me create one more activity, and that activity, let's create a new empty activity, and let's make it launcher activity. Just now we didn't make it, so I'll just create another class. Let's say a Ford, F-O-R-D, right? Ford activity, and just click on finished. So let's say we have a two car activity. One is Ford and another one is Toyota. And what we will do now is in the Ford, let's create an object of a car class that we have already. So we have a car, so let's create an object from this class. So how do we create an object is, let's go on the onCreate activity, and I can just say as a var, and let's say as a FOR, Ford, right? And each equals to car, and this is our, now we have created an object from our class. So this is how we create an object from a class in a Kotlin. And now we have an object which is a Ford over here. Ford, and let's say for that we can access the properties. So we have access to all of the properties: CC, color, and engine number. So let's say we say a color is equals to, let's say, red, and let's give another property dot, and I can say as a CC is equals to, let's say, it should be a string, right? So 2500 CC, and let's give another property that is of engine number, and engine number is of integer data type. So let's give some random number for integer. And after we have set all of this value, then now we can create a, let's say, further we can have a drive, and similarly we have another method that we can access is dot give break. So we have set the properties like the color is red, CC is 2500, and let's say the engine number. And we also have access to the method that we created in the car. This is the properties of the car, and this is what the function that car is going to perform. So let's call it a behavior. So car has a property, object has a property, and a behavior. So we have access over here. And if you go back to the another class that we created, there's that one, Toyota, and we can just copy all of this, right? Let's say just copy this and go to Toyota over here, and instead of Ford over here we can just say as a Toyota, car is in Toyota, and now we can set all of the properties as well as the behavior of the car object that we have. So that's the useful thing. Now we just created a one car class over here, and this class can be we can make use in the multiple object. We can create a multiple object from this class. Like let's say we created a Ford over here, we created a Toyota over here, and what we actually do is we create one class over here, and we put all of the things like properties and the default behavior what the class should do. And whenever we can make use of that class, like we create the object from that class, and we can make use of all of the properties and the function or the behavior that we have created. So if you run this, then it will just go and call this function, which is a println, and it will give I'm a break and I'm driving. So that's a way how we create a class and how we create an object from a class in Kotlin. So I hope you guys had some basic understanding over here, and don't worry about if you get confused over here. We will be taking more example about the classes on our coming classes. So let's meet up in the next lecture, and I hope you guys will practice this one, and if you have any question or a doubt, to let me know. So let's meet up in the next lecture. Till then, Have a great day.